everyone. My name is Nikki, aka Adacanada, and that's actually the name of my YouTube channel. I make
Yeah.
YouTube videos, and I'm based in Canada. I live and I work here. I'm a permanent resident.
Let me ask you this: what for an average applicant, right? Someone that's a JJC that doesn't know anything. What do you think is the first step to take?
The first step I'll say is to try to get information,
Yeah.
because information is power, knowledge is power. So
Yeah.
try to source for information, and not
Yeah.
just any kind of information, not just any random information, but like
Yeah.
actual concrete, like valid information that
Mhm.
is true. Because we
Yeah.
have a lot of false information moving
Are
around.
there? Yeah.
If you have a phone, a smartphone, and if you
Yeah.
have data, you understand, or internet connection, you can use your phone, browse information, type something like universities that offer this program in
Yeah.
Canada, universities that offer this list of, cheap universities in
Yeah.
Canada,
Yeah.
this in Canada, right? And then you start from there and then you go and streamline your information.
Yeah.
YouTube is there, right? So you
Yeah.
can watch videos on YouTube
Mhm.
and like look at like description. If they put the names of schools or
So
links
this
in the
is,
show,
yeah.
look at direct link. I always do that. If I talk about list of schools or anything, I always put the direct link and say, okay, go check this direct link, check this program, or look at the tuition fee, check this
Yeah.
thing. So you go and do your browsing and then read up on the information. And
Mhm.
then that's usually the first step. Try and understand. You can even get like a jotter. Get like it, because that was what I did. That was what helped me. You can't really store everything inside your head, because something you read from one school will not be the same thing you read from
Yeah.
another
They have
school.
different policies. Yeah.
Yeah, so you get a book, you write down University of Alberta, this program that you want. Is it bachelor's, is it master's, is it PhD? Whatever it is you want. What are the requirements saying? You can use your phone to do that, because I use my phone to do that. But I
Mhm.
browse every single thing. And it takes time, because you can
Mhm.
spare like maybe 30 minutes to 1 hour in a day
Yeah.
to do
Mhm.
it, or you give yourself for one school, say maybe one school, 30 minutes to 1 hour in your spare
Yeah.
time, in
To
your
make
free
research. Yeah.
time.
Mm.
Sit down, take your
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
information, understand what he's saying. If you don't understand, that's when you can ask questions and say, okay, I want to do this, but
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
what this is. You do all those browsing.
Action. So the next question is, what are the general requirements?
So I would say
I know it varies, from university to university, but obviously they have some common requirement standards.
okay, so I would say, because I don't know if there is anybody who is looking. Let me start from bachelor's.
Okay.
General requirements for bachelor's is, of course, high school results. So in
Mm-hmm.
this case, your senior secondary results, your WAEC
Mm-hmm.
especially. I don't know about NECO, but if you did both WAEC and NECO, I don't know if people still write NECO now, but if you did both WAEC
I think
and
they still do. Yeah.
NECO, do.
Mm.
Well, I would advise just stick to WAEC if you
Like,
can.
yeah.
But if you want to do NECO, that's okay. You can use both WAEC and NECO results.
Okay.
And it's usually very easy. Your transcripts from secondary school or the
Mm.
transcripts from WAEC need to be
Mm.
sent to the school. So you having completed secondary school up to
Mm-hmm.
SS3, that WAEC results, and that's basically the general requirement. So any extra thing, like maybe write an essay or something
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
just something that maybe the school is
To
adding. Not
boost
every
your chances. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, not every school in Canada would want you to write an essay for bachelor's. So just those two main things. And then I would say English language. English
Okay.
language is always like a thing, right? Especially
Yeah.
coming in as an international student. Now, many universities in Canada have this exemption
Okay.
for English language proficiency. They have it, especially because they recognize that there are so many countries that where you have applicants that are currently in their school that are studying in English, but they want to show
Okay.
that. So if it's not in English language, it has to be translated,
Okay.
notarized, all of those things.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I would say just those three, and
Yeah.
you just apply, and then of course application fee.
Yeah.
So if it's for masters now,
Mm-hmm.
if it's for masters, It's slightly elevated. That one's a lot more. So of course you need
Okay.
to have completed your bachelor's.
Yeah.
You need to have completed a bachelor's degree. And then of course English language proficiency. And I have a video on like universities that they don't have business with English
Require.
language
Okay.
because
Okay.
Nigeria is on the exemption list. They have an exemption list, and I've checked it, and I've seen that Nigeria is on that exemption list. So as
Yeah.
long as you studied your bachelor's from Nigeria, if it's
Mm-hmm.
from, if it's like, I don't know, maybe a
A
different country,
non-English
national
speaking
language,
country, right? Yeah.
exactly, then you will have to show that proof of English language
Okay.
proficiency.
Okay.
Then, of course, when it comes to masters, GPA is very important, right? GPA is
Mm-hmm.
very important because
Okay.
most Canadian universities would want the equivalent of first class, second class upper for a
Okay.
master's degree from your
Mm.
first degree, right?
Okay.
Most of them want that first class, second class upper. With
Mm.
second class lower, it's like, mm,
Pash pash. So
it's,
you have to bring
it's sometimes,
additional. Yeah.
yes, except you have something that is additional, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Third class, really a very slim chance.
Yeah.
Very, very slim chance. Now, what
Okay.
I tell people is like if someone comes to me and like, oh please, can I get admission with a third class or with
Mm.
like a maybe a second class lower?
Mm.
Can I get admission for masters and scholarship? There was and scholarship. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, you need to understand that it's competitive because
Yeah.
when you're doing the selection process, they will definitely pick from the people that have first class and they
Yeah.
have a cutoff.
Yeah.
And the cutoff is different. For example, CGPA of, let's say, they could say most times on average it will be GPA of 3.0 on a
Okay.
4.0 scale. If you check it,
Mm-hmm.
3.0 on a 4.0 scale. 3.0 is, I can't remember like what the equivalent is like in Nigeria. In
In
Nigeria, sorry, I'm
Nigeria,
using
right?
Nigeria because that's our
Yeah.
home country.
Yeah. Of course.
I
Yeah.
can't remember what the equivalent is. I've forgotten how they do that conversion. But usually it's like 3.0 on a 4.0 GPA is their cutoff, and they do the
Okay.
conversion themselves. They do that
Wow.
conversion themselves,
Mm.
right? I didn't do it when I was applying for mine.
Okay.
So I think 3.0 is still part of second class upper. I'm just not
Mm-hmm.
sure if that 3.0 will be the equivalent of second class lower. So GPA is always a thing. It's
Okay.
very rare to see schools that will give a cutoff of 2.7 on a 4.0
Mm.
GPA.
That'll
It's
be.
very
Yeah.
rare.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, it will have to be under some kind of extreme circumstances
Yeah.
for it to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
And then, another thing with masters is, so I've covered like English language. Another thing
Yeah.
masters is the type of masters that you want to do.
Okay.
Type in the sense that there are two types of masters, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can do it either course based, which means they teach you, and then
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the masters, you do like a capstone project,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That was what I did.
Okay.
So I didn't contact any supervisor. I actually did try, like for University of Alberta that gave me admission, I did send an email asking, do I need to contact a supervisor? And the director
Okay.
replied, said, no, it's course-based. You don't need to contact a
You don't need.
supervisor.
Okay. Okay.
So if you are doing like a course-based master's,
Mm-hmm.
most of the time you don't need to contact any supervisor and say, please, like, can we work together on all things. But
Yeah.
when it comes to masters by research, which is like a
Mm-hmm.
research-based master's, it's a
Okay.
thesis, right? That's what they call
Okay.
the thesis
All
portion.
right.
So
All right.
that one, in that case, you have to contact a supervisor beforehand.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there's that added extra research component where you have to go and browse like the faculty members and see
Mm-hmm.
what their area of research interest is. And then you
Yeah.
send an email. You send an email, not just any kind of email, but you have to
Yeah.
like include your academic CV, like
Yeah. Yeah.
what things you've done
A
academically.
compelling email. Yeah.
Exactly, very, very compelling email.
Yeah.
So there's also that in terms of requirements. And
Mm.
this if you're contacting a supervisor, you have to do it early on, like really
Okay.
early on, probably
Okay.
like I don't know, before you even apply, because the person has to accept you before you can apply.
Apply.
Otherwise,
Okay.
you
Okay.
go ahead and apply and put the person's name. It's
So
like a
that
tricky.
means the person will go through your profile, your documents, and see that okay, you actually merit, right? Before you are accepted.
I feel like there are so many things that determine whether like a professor can accept someone. as a student. First of all, funding. Is there funding available for the
Mm-hmm.
students? Right?
Mm.
Because it's research, right? It's
Yeah.
something that
Yeah.
you'll be working for that professor. So does the
Mm.
professor have the funding available for you to be able to conduct that research? That's another area. And most times, like some people that I know have tried and they were, I wouldn't say rejected, or I would say rather turned down, is because the professor will be like, oh, there's no funding.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, I would love to take you on, but I don't have funding for you.
Funding.
Right?
Okay.
I don't have
Okay.
funding for you. So funding is, I know, is a very big factor on like a professor accepting a student to come and work for him for
Yeah.
to do this research.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Talking about how to improve your chances, right? What do you think? What do you think, or what factors can an applicant consider to be competitive?
Your grades.
Yeah.
Your
Okay.
grades do
Number
matter.
one.
In as much as your grades, you see that CGPA, they do
Mm-hmm.
matter because at the end of the day, they will look at your transcripts and the transcripts have to come from your school, right? So
Okay.
grades do matter. There are
Mm.
certain things they are looking for in terms of the background education that you've received, right?
Yeah.
Grades is one, and that's why they pick from those who are first class and those who are second class before they now move. If there is space, you understand, if there
Okay.
is
Okay.
space, because usually a quota, a set number of students that they can take
Okay.
in every session. And then I
Mm.
would say your experience in terms of like, so experience is kind of broad. So let me narrow it down. So
Okay.
for something like a graduate program, like a master's or a PhD, do you have work experience in that field that you're interested
Okay.
in? How
Yeah.
can you demonstrate or show that work experience to your supervisor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your statement of purpose, right?
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
why are you interested in that field? What experience do you bring to that table? How much
Mm-hmm.
research have you done in the past? Are there
Okay.
any papers
Okay.
you've published? Are there any poster presentations you've made? All of those
Yeah.
things, right?
All those stuffs we show ambition. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it can really make you stand out and be like, okay,
Mm.
like this person is not just, you understand, this person
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
something, a lot of information that they have gathered.
Okay.
And then oh, I mentioned work experience before as
Yeah.
well. So if
Yeah.
you have like
Yeah.
work experience that relates to that path, it can also help.
Okay. Okay.
Also
Yeah. So when do you think is the ideal time to start submitting admission application?
generally, for international students, they usually admit majority of programs. The application starts September, October,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
school also starts September, October, like a proper admission academic session,
Okay.
usually in
Okay.
September.
Mm.
So application starts September, some people October, it
Okay.
opens, and then
Okay.
the deadline could be December or January, depending on the school. So,
Mm.
like for example, now we are in the month of May. Now would be a
Mm-hmm.
good time to start browsing and gathering all the
Yeah.
information you need.
Information.
You need
Mm.
to apply for your transcript from a Nigerian university. Now would be the best time to start running all of that. And
Mm.
then by September or by October, if the school that you want to apply to has opened the admission or the application portal, you
Yeah.
can start applying immediately. You don't have to wait till it's close to the deadline.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
apply immediately and put
Mm.
put your application in. And this is for admission against next year in
Next year.
September.
Okay. Okay.
If
Okay.
No, I just want to add this admission against next year in September. Now,
Mm.
a few schools will have admission, like they can take students in January.
Okay.
So if a school has an admission intake for January 2023 next year, for example,
Yeah.
then now will be the best time to start applying because you need
Okay.
to give yourself enough time for visa. So you
Okay.
should actually have been done applying by June,
Okay.
depending on their deadline. Some schools, their deadline is August or September. You don't have to wait till that time because of visa. It takes a while
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So one of the problems Nigerians or applicants face is like they don't have money for GRE for application fee, right? Do you think there are some universities out there that waive GRE application fees and all that?
Okay, so this is one of the I would say I don't know, maybe I'll call it a misconception. Many people
Okay.
think because in the US, GRE is like many
Yeah.
schools are
Many
GRE.
schools. Yeah. Yeah.
But with Canada, Canada doesn't really have business with GRE or GMAT,
Sharing. Okay.
except the only exceptions are if you are applying for an MBA program, Masters in Business Administration, if you're
Mm.
applying for Human Resources Management, accounting, right? That's
Okay.
when they
Mm.
need that GRE, GMAT, right?
Comes
Accounting,
into place.
finance,
Yeah.
masters, right?
Mm.
MBA. That is when GRE and GMAT comes into play. But for
Mm.
like a regular masters, like for example, petroleum geology, there was nothing like GRE, there was nothing like GMAT, right?
Okay.
A
Mm.
masters in, I don't know, say maybe something like engineering. There's no GRE involved, there's no GMAT involved. I have a friend who just graduated last year. She didn't take the GRE, she didn't take the GMAT.
Okay.
So if you're talking about English language proficiency, I'll give you an
Mm-hmm.
example. Um, I think Memorial University doesn't have
Okay.
like they have that exemption list. I think Brock University is one of them. I'm trying to remember the schools I mentioned from my video.
Okay.
My school is one of them, University of Alberta. That's my alma
Okay.
mater. I didn't need English language proficiency from my department. So if you're checking, you have to check
What's your department?
it was Earth and Atmospheric Sciences. That was the
Okay.
department I graduated from. But my master's was in petroleum geology.
Okay.
So they didn't need IELTS. You have to check like within that department that you want to apply to.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
Carleton University is another one, but Carleton University is one where like they don't really have an exemption list. They just want like to see that you studied in English. So you can, if you can prove that you studied for at least up to 4 years undergraduate in English
In
language,
English
then
language. Yeah. You're good. Okay.
another area is like you have to just to be sure you can send an email and say okay you studied in English and all that kind of thing and then they'll get back to you. Some would require a letter from
Okay.
let's say, the registrar from your school that can attest to the fact that you did your studies in English language and then they can
Mm-hmm.
grant you that exemption.
Okay. Okay. Wow. I think you've covered everything we need to cover. What's your advice for applicants out there? Like, what do you have for them? Like, your final thoughts.
What I would say is you have to be very very determined and go after what you want. I
Mm.
know right now money is a hindrance to a lot of people. That's why they're
A
looking
lot.
for
Yeah.
scholarship,
Yeah.
scholarship,
Yeah.
scholarship. It's good to apply for scholarship. Apply for the scholarship, right? If you get it, you get it. Even if it's not a full scholarship, because some people are so adamant I want full
For
scholarship.
full.
But can your grades match it? Like, can your grades enough to give that full
Yeah.
scholarship? You understand?
Yeah.
These things are competitive. It's a
Yeah.
scholarship. Everybody
Yeah.
wants scholarship. Even the people inside Canada, the citizens
They
here
want
want
it as well. Yeah. Yeah.
everybody wants to study for free. This place is not Norway that you can study for free. You understand? So it's good. Apply for the scholarship, but I always tell people because finances is a problem, do not think about the finance. Just do what you can do, right?
Okay.
Do what you can do. I tell people don't put all your eggs in one basket when you're applying to
Mm.
Canada because sometimes Canada can surprise you as much as
Mm.
you understand.
Yeah.
Apply to if it is two schools that you can afford the application fee,
Mm.
apply to those two schools. I know it's painful, right? But try not to think about the money, right? If
Mm.
it's three schools, I did three schools and I lost money from the two schools that rejected my admission. And then
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got admission in one.
But you have
So like
better chance of being accepted because you created options.
exactly,
Yeah. Yeah.
multiple applications. You can do multiple applications and then just
Mm.
see. Even if you just need 1 yes at least, just 1 yes, and
Mm-hmm.
then you can start processing your visa.
Yeah.
So try to like not think so much about I don't have money for this, I don't have money for that, because the truth is everybody who goes out either through school or work to whatever country, US, Canada,
Yeah.
UK,
Yeah. Yeah.
money is spent. Even
You
in
have
Europe,
to
that
spend
in
money,
Europe is cheap.
obviously. Yeah. Yeah.
You will still spend
You
money.
still
You
spend money.
understand?
Yeah.
You will still
Yeah.
spend money. So there is no way where you won't spend. It's a lot of money and it's a
Yeah.
lot of sacrifice. So if it's something, if you have to work, fine. If you don't have anybody that can sponsor you, that's okay. You can do the scholarship thing. If you have to borrow, many of us borrowed money.
Money, yeah.
I borrowed money. I'm not even ashamed to even say
And
it.
it's
I
worth
borrowed
it.
money.
Of course, why
You
should we
understand?
be
It's
ashamed?
what it
Yeah,
in the end.
yeah.
As long as
Mhm.
just pay back when you come back, when you
Yeah.
come into this money. You understand? Just find a way that you pay back the money. But that kind of thing. Just if it's what you really want, go after it. So like apply. Like what's the worst that can happen,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow, thank you so much for the insightful information, Sada.
You're welcome.
I'm very sure with this what's it called, information, someone has been inspired, someone take a step and make a move. Wow, Ada, thank you so much for coming. It's been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully maybe sometimes in the future we'll do this again.
Cool.
And yeah, so please tell us where they can find you on Instagram or on your socials.
Well, you can type adacanada on YouTube and you'll
Yeah,
see me
yeah.
glaring
Please
in full
do
force.
subscribe to our channel, please. Like that channel is like a library.
Thank
Trust me. Like anything about Canada, #1 plug.
My email is Nikki
Mhm.
NIQI dot adaka ADACA at gmail.com if you want to send me an email with any questions that you might have. And also on Instagram, adacanada_. That's
Yeah,
about
that's it.
it.
So, guys, I'll put
That's all.
the link to our YouTube channel in the description. Please do subscribe, give watch our videos, click the like button. And also, please, if you enjoy this content, please share to your friends that have interest in going to Canada. And we'll see you guys again the next time. See you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Good luck. Bye.